Good morning and welcome to Argate newspaper headlines review on Tuesday, and welcoming you to this fresh month. I think this is the first edition of the month, and my name is Benjamin Gutav. I have joining me on this program to look at what the papers are saying is Nathaniel Nongo. Nathaniel Nongo, good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, Gutav. Good to be here.
Yeah, indeed, good to be here. But the papers, indeed, very many other stories are coming. Some papers are carrying say PDP is going to boil and break up, and of all of that, many other stories about the petroleum and the rest. But let's go dive into the papers straight. And our first choice of the paper today is the Punch newspaper, and it carries this big story, or rather the banner headline: PDP governors Wike may clash as NWC meets Wednesday. And the right there says, NEC pressures NWC to hand over Rivers PDP to Fubara. And the PDP governors will address minister's threat at meeting, says Forum. That is Forum DG. Above the nameplate of the news, the Punch newspaper, you have petrol will be exported if marketers boycott a product. Dangote refinery coming up with that story. And then you have hospitals, tertiary institutions, electricity subsidy may gulp 188 billion naira. NNPC may stop petrol import as depot price nears 1,000 per litre. But again, the bottom of the paper carries the story: hunger protests. Britain denies fleeing as court remands 10. External debt servicing rises to 2.78 billion. That's according to CBN report. An arrested Canada-based Nigerian woman threatening Yoruba risks 2-year jail. Tinubu meets Xi Jinping today, signs bilateral agreements. These are the stories on the Punch newspaper, but our focus is on the governor, the banner headline: PDP governors Wike may clash as NWC meets Wednesday. And that, before you make your comment, the PDP governors, the Wike has already given some threats in the state congress. He made very categorical statements, said the PDP, it's as they have reclaimed the structure of the PDP. They invested in poor business. The members of the PDP should take it that what they did, they have a governor in the state, but they are not benefiting, so it's as good as they've invested in the poor business. And he heard that some governors want to collect this structure from him and give it to the governor, and any governor who dares to do that, he's going to put fire in that state. So those are some of it. I'm not quoting him verbatim, but he said he's going to also make sure that that governor or the number of other governors who want to take the structure and hand it over to Fubara will definitely see fire. So this is what it's saying. And the PDP governors, Wike, and the Punch newspaper is saying that there may be a clash on Wednesday as they meet. What do you say?
Anyway, Gutav, it is really needless for the PDP to be trading battles at this time, I must say. I think it is high time former Governor Wike, now Minister of the FCT, who is a major stakeholder in the party, collaborates with other leaders of the party, including the PDP governors, to put the party in order ahead of the 2027 election. And of course, even beyond the 2027 general election coming up, there are other obstacle elections that the PDP is also feeding candidates, which I expect that the party should come together. But trust the man Wike, he is a man of his words. When he threatened that he will put fire in their state, he meant it. But I think such statements for a man of his standing as a key stakeholder in the party should not be still made at this moment. They are needless because the party needs to be together to give a formidable opposition to the government that is in power under the APC administration. Granted that he is serving in the Tinubu government, but he remains a member of the PDP. But I think all of this is coming up because of the crisis in Rivers State. And of course, if you look at what has been happening with him still being in charge when Governor Siminalayi Fubara nearly appears to be helpless. Fubara, being a governor on the PDP platform, is running to his governor colleagues on the platform who are now lobbying to have the structures handed over to him. But I think it should be a matter of lobbying and not just threats coming. The PDP governors shouldn't appear like they want to upstage Wike, because as far as the Rivers PDP is concerned, Wike is a key stakeholder. So if Governor Fubara wants to make peace with Wike, he should also think in the direction of making total peace so that they can put together the issues and differences they have, put aside the differences they have between them, and allow the cause of the party in Rivers State and in the country to run seamlessly. But I think Wike has said that the National Working Committee of the party, granted, he is a major stakeholder, he has got the stakes there, but I expect that they should also caution him, because such statements are meant not just to be said, because they appear like tearing the party apart. So the PDP needs to come together and form a formidable front ahead of the election. So whatever the governors have against Wike, none of them should appear like being bigger than the party. Wike himself should not be bigger than the PDP as a party. The governors who are also on the platforms of the PDP, on the platform of the PDP, shouldn't be bigger. It should be the collective decision of the party that should be made to thrive. And as it is at the moment, the National Working Committee of the party seem to recognize Wike as a leader of the PDP in Rivers. So Governor Siminalayi Fubara should also accept this reality and let peace reign between them.
What is the cause? There is this total having this what they call a spirit of having total control of the party, a spirit of having, let me be the leader of the party. A governor comes in and becomes the leader of the party. I don't know the constitution, but the constitution of PDP says, I think in many practices I've seen in the states, once you're a governor, you're a leader of a party. The same thing, governors have been fighting over leadership of structure of the party. You understand?
Yes.
But I don't know why they want to. Of course, you know that we have our own in Benue State here also running, and they are also in court as well, where it is or not to be. The Agada faction, the Makolo, now Makolo is off, Agada is off, the caretaker committee is in. It appears there is. Does it mean that losing the hold of the structure of the party, the governors are totally weakened?
The governors, for me, once you are elected as a governor, your priority should be governance and not having structures of the party. Your performance will tell whether you are in control of the structures of the party. Because by the time the next election comes, the party will be calling for you. Given that you are a performing governor, do you actually need the party structures to function in office as a governor? Time for governance should be there, and time for politicking should be there. So if it is not about strategizing on who will become the leader or who will own the structures of the party, outshine the structures or whatever the people may have as doubt about you, outshine it with your performance. Put your performance, put the cast very impressive, so that the party does not even need to struggle with you on the party structures. The party hands over the structures to you voluntarily, because if you are performing, if you are a performing governor and the citizens are on your side, because it is the people who give the votes to the political parties. So irrespective of you have the political structure or not, if you have performed and the people are on your side, then there is not two ways about it, having to skim your way through to have political party structure. So governors, it is high time governors should move away from this mentality of struggling for party structures, especially when you came on the structures of someone who assisted you to be there.
Yeah.
Because if eventually you come and you want to upstage the person immediately, nobody will accept that politically. It should be a bargain, because when you were coming to the table, did you bring the structures?
You had no
came
structure
on the structures of this person who is a leader in this place, and now you want the structures before you will perform. Structures or no structures shouldn't stop you from serving the people when you are elected as a governor or
so
any
more
leader.
or less, they are putting the cart before the horse.
Absolutely.
So put performance first, and even the leader of the party, who perhaps the one who is struggling the leadership with you, would definitely say, "Oh, this guy is doing well."
Yes.
I would definitely want that governors should begin to look for okay, maybe to begin to look for structure maybe in their second term, but perhaps they are looking for structure so
Right
that
in your first year of office.
they are looking for structure so that they can get the ticket. I think the fight is about the re-election ticket. Whether I will get the ticket or not, whether I will not get. But we learned that Fubara was not was not present at the state the state congress. So let's see how it goes. Whether it's going to be a showdown tomorrow at the PDP NWC meeting. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. Whether the governors are going to. They said they are going to address the minister's threat and other things as well. And the NEC is under pressure to hand over, to make sure that the Rivers PDP structure, you see, the party itself is also is under pressure. That means the governors. So there's something about structure that perhaps you don't know. Pierre, perhaps I don't have a structure. So
But anyway, the interesting thing is that nobody will pressure the NEC into taking a decision that may be against the interests of former Governor Wike, because as far as the PDP is concerned, he's one person that remains relevant to them. So they too know how to. If in the end, because here is a man who in the PDP is relevant to you, and is also in the current administration on the APC platform. So as far as the River State, where he comes from, is concerned, both ways he's relevant.
yes.
I understand he have these are just speculations, but it may be, if it is true that he has got his loyalists in the APC in Rivers as well, then where will you, who is seeking for the structures, eventually run to?
So if you go to APC, the structure is still in his hands.
Yes, of course.
Now is focus on performance. You came in, you campaigned. Governors, they came in, they campaigned, and they should focus on performance. Then the structures will definitely just come to them. It might not come fully, but I think the reason for the structure of fighting over structures is to make sure that they get their second term. So if you perform very well, and of course, and you play your cards very well to make sure that every party member is not aggrieved, of course, they will definitely front your name to become their candidate in the next election. So performance, and of course, make sure that you're talking with the political stakeholders. You know, stakeholders are very critical.
Absolutely.
in politics. So once you remove stakeholders, because they were part of your emergence. Okay, let's go to the next paper, which is Vanguard. Vanguard is carrying a different headline here, the banner headline. It says, anxiety as pump price of petrol races towards, anxiety as pump price of petrol races towards 1,405 naira per litre. Costing template shows a landing price at 1,205 naira. NNPCL already overwhelmed by subsidy. Marketers give condition for participating in importation. New official pump price expected this month. Dangote Refinery concludes fuel refining plans. Commuters pay higher fares. And you have presidency above the nameplate. Presidency denies alleged frosty relationship between Tinubu and Shettima. That is the vice president. I don't regret joining APC, Amechi declares. Nigerian Airlines not delisted from operating to US over safety. That's coming from the federal government. And just at the bottom of the paper, some headlines there to pick. 2027 PDP in talks with Kwankwaso. Obi says spokesman. Team Nigeria win first medal. Sports Minister hails Bolaji. Okay, that should be in Paralympics because we didn't win anything in the
in the Olympics.
in the Olympics. So you can see that those who how much we spent in the Olympics, but we couldn't get anything. But the Paralympics guys are doing indeed very well. We've got one medal already. Interesting. So, but let's look at the banner headline. Anxiety has pumped price of petrol races towards 1,405 naira. Now, I like the caption. Number one, it is the pump price is racing. Yeah, it has not stopped. Races, so it means it is going.
Yes.
So nobody knows where it's going to stop. But the another 1,400 naira per liter.
This is really disturbing, and it's hard time to be Nigerians at this time. One would have expected that the removal of fuel subsidy was going to stabilize the issue of petrol in our country, but here we have the challenge still very much on our hands, and in the end it is the citizens who are facing the brunt of all this, because those who are responsible for the policies in the petroleum sector and are people that are elected by us are directly not feeling the brunt of this. Because when you talk about the petrol racing, as the headline captures it, racing towards 1,405 naira per liter, that is not at black market. That is coming at maybe
so the landing cost is 1,205.
Okay, so you can imagine what if this is coming at more like an official rate, at the rate filling stations are dispensing. You can imagine what the black marketers will be doing to people in this country. And you know, every sector of this economy is tied to petrol price. Talk about transport, talk about the general cost of living we are facing. It is as a result of the hike in petrol prices. So what policy is the government looking in this direction? I think when you take a policy, when you make a policy move and you see the petrol costs, and right now, even the 1,405 naira per liter as it is, there are reports of its scarcity in the country. So with the scarcity facing Nigerians, which way do we go from here? It's really disturbing, because one would have expected that by now, the present administration should have gotten a strong hold on which direction to take the petroleum sector of this country to. But here we are grappling with the same challenge. It would have been expected that the removal of the subsidy was going to stabilize the price. But that is not to be at all. So it's really, really disturbing. The government should look in the direction of reviewing this policy of the removal of fuel subsidy. 1,405 naira per liter that we're talking about, by the time we're getting to around December, which is popularly referred as the Ember month, the festive period, it's likely the price may hit 2,000 naira per liter.
Where there's always an artificial scarcity.
A scarcity.
Artificial.
Artificial. At the moment there is scarcity, one wonders whether it is artificial or not. But at that time, you know, even when the product is available, artificial scarcity is created. So the government should arrest this situation. And the direction to arrest it is to get the public refineries working, because government upon governments have been talking about this policy of coming to revamp our local refineries so as to be refining products to sell to Nigerians. But as it is, nothing.
Okay, I want us to tie these stories all together. Let's go to maybe the guys at the back end can tell us. Look at the Punch story. At the top of the Punch story says, petrol will be exported if marketers boycott the product. Now we quickly run to the Vanguard newspaper. It says, anxiety has pumped price races towards. It says, NNPC to be sole buyer of Dangote PMS as refinery begins processing of product. Now, this is the question. If Dangote is saying that if petrol will be exported if marketers boycott product. Dangote is saying if marketers boycott product. NNPCL is the sole buyer of the Dangote PMS. Should NNPC be the sole buyer of that, or should it be open to everybody? Shouldn't it be open to everybody to buy so that we can have this market liberalized?
Absolutely. Because this is the same NNPC that has been pretending over the issue of petrol in this country, but the results are not being seen. So Dangote that has come in as a private investor, his PMFs should be available to marketers. But Dangote. And here we have a decision of being the sole buyer of the Dangote.
Okay, I think we're built for a break, and you hold your thought there. When we come back from the break, we'll continue on looking at some of the perspectives of what the papers are saying. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to the program. This is newspaper headlines. In case you're just joining in, where we look at the papers for the day, the dailies, looking at the stories that run on the front page of the paper. So we've been looking at the issue of fuel, the price rising, and the NNPC saying they'll become the sole buyer of Dangote when it begins, and the rest. If buyers, Dangote saying, if buyers don't patronize them, they will export and all of that. But not you are on a particular line of thought when I ask you, NNPC saying they are going to be sole buyer of Dangote PMS. Your reaction to that?
Very well. So as I stated earlier, Gustav, NNPCL is the same body that has been superintending over the distribution of petrol in this country, and we've been having the scarcity and the rising prices. So Dangote, as a private investor, should be dealing directly with marketers, independent petroleum marketers, and not the NNPCL having stakes to be the sole buyer. Why will you buy from him? To redistribute to Nigerians? Allow the marketers and the market forces to determine, because Dangote should fix the price within the minimum of it was stated earlier that he was looking at 600 naira per liter. This was previous analysis we looked at. Yeah. So if the marketers are buying from Dangote and supplying to consumers of the product directly, I think there will be more confidence in the system than NNPCL seeking to have stakes to be the sole buyer. Why be the sole buyer? Why be the sole buyer of a private investor who is refining the product in his own private refinery? He should be the sole buyer to buy and then resell to marketers? No. allow the marketers to access the product directly from
themselves,
Dangote, and let it be determined by market forces of how much the end users of the product will get it from them. Because over time, NNPCL has demonstrated that it lacks the capacity to administer the petroleum sector in a way that the issues of the rising prices will be curtailed and the scarcity of it will be brought down. It's really disturbing. So if it is true that they are seeking to be the sole buyer, I think the marketers should make known to them that this move should be resisted. Let the marketers access the product from Dangote refinery directly.
Yeah, I think they have to work on that, because if that is the case, it's as good as saying we're going back to the route we're coming out. If somebody operates a filling station, he should go to Dangote's refinery,
yes,
and then buy and come and sell immediately, so that he determines what price he will pay. Okay, that's the much you have on the Vanguard newspaper. But let's go to This Day newspaper. This day's newspaper carries a big headline. The banner headline here: for the first time in 28 years, Nigeria begins production of petrol at Dangote refinery. This is cheering news, isn't it, Nongo?
Cheering.
28 news. 28 years, rather. 28 years. After 28 years.
So it tells you how much 28 years the public refineries have not been working. Because this is why we are celebrating the Dangote beginning production of petrol at its own refinery. Because over the years, we have been largely been import dependent of the crude that we have in abundance, because at the moment none of our public refineries is working. So indeed, if Dangote has broken the jinx 28 years afterwards, it calls for celebration. But it won't be celebration until the product is available for citizens to have at cost that is a bit minimal, not the 1,400 naira per liter as we saw in the other headline on the paper, because it will only be celebration. The celebration will be complete when the product is available and at minimal price that Nigerians can afford to, because we do not lack the crude. We do not lack the crude for refining into petrol. We have it in abundance. Nigeria is one of the largest producers of crude oil. So if we have it, then it should be serving the interests of citizens. So we commend Dangote for the move.
Yeah, when I look at this and they said 28 years, I started looking at the calculation. Democracy since 1999 up to this point, 25 years.
Yes.
25 years of abysmal performance in the oil, in the production of crude.
And it has happened at a time when the past administration, we even had the president superintendent as Minister of Petrol himself.
25 good years. Every administration will come and say they are going to revive or revamp or restructure. These words keep occurring. 25 years. If a child goes to school and has been scoring 0 for 25 years, you know what that means. So the country has failed in oil production, petrol production, or whatever it is, for good 25 years. The other 3 years, the military also are part of it. So it's actually very, but again, the person who has come to this, to solve this situation is not government itself. It's to tell you that left for government alone will also continue this route of nothing will happen. Dangote is coming in to help after 25 years of democracy. Another state, another administration, the military part, 3 years. So this is quite astonishing, very, very surprising. And from all indication, if we continue like this, the government will do nothing and nothing will happen. But facility to begin, the rider here, just to take the rider of what we have on This Day newspaper. Facility to begin sale immediately. Immediately. That's one thing that's good about private organizations. Investors.
Yes.
So NNPC to emerge sole buyer from new 650,000
That's barrel.
Barrel per day facility. OPEC's August output falls to lowest since January despite Nigeria's small increase. As I said, this is a cherry news, and one commendation, the single commendation must go to Dangote.
I think we should have more of Dangotes in this country.
Yeah,
but they shouldn't be exploitative in prices. You know, private investors are sometimes capitalists in nature. Given that you are a businessman and you want to recoup your investment, Dangote he deserves the plaudits.
But anybody that wants to go the way Dangote is going should first and foremost sit with him and ask him the challenges, because if Dangote reels out the challenges he has gone through, you definitely just keep your money in your pocket.
He's even going through them currently because the marketers are alleged they are collaborating to.
When he said he must the crude should be sold to him in naira.
Yes,
you understand what he went through as well. So again, you have the daily this day newspaper with the PDP story. The PDP summons Wike over alleged anti-party activities. This is a different angle of the story. A face disciplinary panel says Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso still in talks, and Sani Bauchi governors who want to take him the structure from him on the fire. So again, Yaradua's Matrach, the mother of the former president of Nigeria. Okay, these are the stories we have for you on this day newspaper. Let's turn our attention to the Nation's newspaper, and the Nation's newspaper carries quite a different story. Treason. Police place 20 million bounty on Britain, Nigerian. Okay, so you want to read more of that story. NNPC and some Britain. Some suspects patronized my shop. You can get that more of that story. But again, one cherry news coming from that above the nameplate is Oyo to deploy 20 CNG buses given by federal government. Okay, woman held in Canada for threatening to poison Nigerians. Osimhen seals 1 year loan deal with Galatasaray. Aha. Ex-President Yaradua's mother, mom, at 102, dies in Katsina. Okay, but the story I love so much is about that Oyo deploying 20 CNG buses given by federal government. It appears these CNG buses are given to states. If they are, we should be asking the one in Benue too, when are they going to be put in use?
Yes, the CNG buses is part of what the federal government did said was measures to alleviate to cushion the harsh effect of petrol subsidy removal. And now that they are making the CNG buses available, if they are put to use, they should serve Nigerians. But 20 in an entire state, how far can it serve the transport needs of the citizens? Will it be just within the state capital? We should also be asking when they are coming to Benue, because major to cushion the effect of subsidy removal on citizens, so as to maybe to de-emphasize the use of petrol, so that the buses are powered by compressed natural gas. So it should serve, but we should hope that it should come to Benue as well. The government should apply them, and the numbers should not just be available to serve a limited population only in the state capital, because if you look at the magnitude of population of people across states seeking having transport needs every day, 20 alone, will it serve, is what we should be questioning.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever have everything sufficient, yeah? But 20 at least, let's see the 20 first.
All right, so we should hope that the 20 meant for Benue should come, or more.
Or more, yeah. So, but again, the story on the treason story of police placed 20 million bounty on Britain and Nigeria. And that is the Nigerian police has actually placed a 20 million bounty on the British national Andrew Wine, also known as Andrew Povich. and a Nigerian law being. The reason it's for alleged plotting to overthrow the democratically elected government in the country. Some of these statements are very weighty. So you can get more of that story when you pick the Nation's newspaper. But let's go again. The next paper, the Guardian newspaper, carries the story: insecurity, secessionists, agitations deep, FDI, and trade in Southeast states. So first scarcity, sack Kyari now. Coalition demands, and PDP says Wike not above party as disciplinary committee issues summons. PDP woes Obi, Kwankwaso, and Coup rates Tinubu low. So, but again, we will skip this story, but I want us to pick this story and talk about it. Of course, the insecurity, sit at home. That one is a story that has been going. The governors are talking, making sure that the secessionists, they sit at home, and all other things can go to that place. The Southeast is very crucial in Nigeria, and they've been very, very industrious. So if Nigeria will also survive and survive economically, the Southeast need to be settled.
Absolutely, Gustav. The Southeast, like you rightly pointed out, is one of the life wires of the economy of this country. And the insecurity that has been ravaging that particular region of our country recently, tied to the activities of secessionists, the agitators, one really wonders what they're agitating for. Because if it is about Biafra, people who saw it before have actually come out to say that it's not worth agitating for anymore. So what exactly they are agitating for is what we seem not to understand. And if you're agitating, will it be leading you to key innocent people who are contributing to the economy of that place? Imagine the number of lives that are wasted in that zone, in that region of our country. They sit at homes that they keep having. Imagine the toll that we take on the economy. So I think the Southeast governors should be more drastic, should come together as a forum, as they have, to be more drastic in taking measures that we tackle the insecurity in that region. Make a categorical statement. Seek the collaboration of the federal government so as to bring this situation to an end once and for all. Because as it is really disturbing how that particular zone has become a dangerous zone at war with itself.
So the other thing I wanted us to look at it quickly before we take our last story is the PDP wooing Obi, Kwankwaso, and making sure Atiku, the measure, is it the mega party we're looking out for? Are you sure these guys are ready to take over from the current government if this measure happens?
Anyway, you know, these two guys are forces to reckon with. The Kwankwasea movement. If the Kwankwasea brings his movement of red caps in the NNPP to join forces with the PDP and obedience. Obi was a good candidate in the last general election. He was a candidate to beat on the Labour Party. And most of Nigerians who supported Labour Party were supporting it on the basis of Obi as a poster boy of that party. Now, Obi has this liking. Obi is loved. He is a force to reckon with across Nigeria. Kwankwasea, yes, in the north, especially around his territory of Kano, he's well reckoned with and respected. So trust politicians. They have a way of disagreeing, but again agreeing. Supposing Obi was fielded as a candidate of the PDP in the last general election, it's possible the PDP would have made a better and impressive showing than the Atiku they fielded. So if they are in talks and win Obi and Kwankwaso to come together, they all have been members of the PDP before now. Obi was also a member of the PDP, same as Kwankwaso. So if the politicians will always disagree, but in the end agree, and they will say, I am back, I am finally back home. So if they are wooing each other, if the party has seen prospects in them and is wooing them to come together ahead of 2027, then it should be something nobody should underrate, because something is cooking. So if the wooing should succeed,
it's
Nigerians should watch out.
It's not about the win. Who takes the ticket? Because that is where the battle is. I could recall how the tickets, the what they call it, the primaries for the presidential primaries of the PDP went in Abuja. How Atiku and Wike and all of that, and how it played out. So people began Tambuwal and the rest. So the interest, and we saw what happened later on when the national chairman said to Tambuwal that he's a hero of the convention by stepping down for. So you understand. So if these three persons come, of course, all of them want to rule the country. They want to rule Nigeria, and how will they reconcile their interests?
Which is what we should be asking. But I think they are coming together shouldn't be primarily on the basis of coming to emerge as candidates. If you can bring your support base to form the party, then look for fresh blood that you all can give the support and backing. But I don't think problem with politicians.
I don't think you are thinking like a politician.
The politicians will always want it to be themselves. But again, to be frank with you, even in 2027, if you put a B on the ballot on a political party like the PDP and is a candidate, surely he will be a candidate to beat. If he is a candidate with the running mate of a Kwankwasia mode or any other running mate, it will be surely a big ticket.
With what is happening, the politicians may not agree with you, because with what is happening with godfathers and godsons, political godfather and godsons, was okay. Let's the three of us have done our bit. We've been governors, we've been vice president, and so let's find a fresh blood and come in. Just looking at if we bring this young man now, will he take our instruction? He will be looking for structures.
Structures that people are struggling for.
So we're looking for structure. By the time he becomes a president, the structure will not be ours. He'll go all around the state and be saying the structure is mine. So, but anyway, let's look at the last paper we'll take down. That is the New Telegraph. It's something very disturbing. It talks about flooding may get worse in coming days, and that's coming from Hyperdeck. Hyperdeck is giving that strong warning that flooding may come up, may become very, very worse. So let's be federal government urges federal government to declare state of emergency on immediately, and attributes incidents to poor infrastructure, failure to follow environmental guidelines, ineffective dams management. Ineffective dams management. Okay, that is one thing that we have to look at. Your take immediately, Anad, because we are out of time. Absolutely.
Well, flooding, it shouldn't be an annual ritual. These are warnings that are coming again and again. The government should be more drastic in its measures towards addressing the issue of flooding. Getting the dams, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsave, has been talking in this direction over and over, the construction of dams. So, because the water that sometimes is flooding into people's homes, washing away towns and villages, if proper dams are constructed, they could even serve as water for the purpose of irrigation, farming later on. So, getting dams working is part of the major infrastructure that will address the challenge of flooding in the country.
Okay, and that is where we have to draw the curtain. But of course, Utsave has been moving around talking about how dams could be some constructions. I think he has commissioned some water issues and the rest. Yeah. But more should be done, so that, as you said, we shouldn't be having it as a ritual, because every year people just expect that. In Benue, those living around the waterways, the river banks, have been told to leave because there is threat to that effect. That is where we have to draw the curtains for today. My name is Benjamin Gutsav. See you next time with the newspaper headlines. Say bye-bye for now. Have a great day.